The Galactic Military Academy had seen thousands of species pass through its halls over the past 6 centuries. Warrior clans from the burning moons of Septera, hive minds that thought in mathematical symphonies, even those strange crystalline beings who communicated through light refraction. But none of us, and I mean absolutely none of us, had ever encountered anything quite like the human called Vera Holt. My name is Qrix, and I suppose you could say I'm what humans would call a 6-armed, floating jellyfish person. Close enough. I was assigned to Delta Squadron alongside Vera during our first year at the Academy. And let me tell you something that still gives me the equivalent of chills. She never spoke. Not once. Not during drills. Not during combat simulations. Not even during the infamous scream until your lungs collapse endurance test that made half our class quit by week 3. The silence was unnerving. Maybe her translator is broken? Suggested Torv, our squad's resident optimist. He was a Krellian, built like a mountain made of purple scales and bad decisions. For 3 years straight, I bubbled back, my vocal sacs vibrating with skepticism. That's either the worst technology malfunction in galactic history, or she's playing a game we don't understand. The instructors didn't seem bothered. Commander Rax, a battle-scarred Vorgan who'd survived 7 planetary invasions, would simply nod when Vera completed her assignments. And complete them she did. Perfectly. Every single time. She'd ace tactical assessments without saying a word, dominate hand-to-hand combat simulations without a single grunt, and solve strategic puzzles that made the rest of us want to dissolve into puddles of confusion. It was infuriating. I bet she's mute, whispered Lyra during our 2nd year. Lyra was a Zephyrite, all wings and attitude. Some humans have that condition, right? Then how does she answer the verbal command tests? I pointed out, gesturing with 3 of my limbs for emphasis. That was the thing. Somehow, someway, Vera's scores always came back perfect on every evaluation, including those that explicitly required vocal responses. The Academy's systems registered her as having completed all requirements. No flags, no warnings, just flawless marks across the board. By our 3rd year, Vera Holt had become something of a ghost story. The silent human, the quiet terror, that weird biped who never makes sounds but could probably kill you with a spoon. We graduated on a cold morning, under the triple suns of Academus Prime. 2,000 cadets from 400 worlds, all lined up in our dress uniforms, ready to receive our commissions and head off to defend the galaxy for whatever fresh horror was threatening civilization this decade. The Zerati, probably. It was usually the Zerati. Commander Rax began calling names, each graduate stepping forward to receive their assignment. The ceremony was supposed to be dignified, solemn, a sacred moment in every young warrior's life. Tor got assigned to border patrol. He looked thrilled. Lyra drew reconnaissance duty. She practically flew up to accept her posting. My name was called, and I floated forward to receive my orders. Tactical support for the 5th Fleet. Decent. Respectable. Unlikely to get me killed immediately. Then came Vera's turn. Cadet Vera Holt, Commander Rax announced, his 4 eyes scanning the crowd. She stepped forward, same as always. Silent. Her face was unreadable, which was saying something, because humans were usually ridiculously expressive. Their faces leaked emotions like a broken containment field. Commander Rax held out her commission chip. Vera took it, and then, in a voice that cut through the morning air like a plasma blade through butter, she spoke. Ready for the real test? The entire graduating class froze. 2,000 beings, 2,000 voices, absolute silence. Because it wasn't a question directed at the commander. It wasn't rhetorical. It wasn't even particularly loud. But somehow, every single one of us knew she was talking to all of us. The what now? Torv managed to sputter. Vera turned, and for the first time in 3 years, she smiled. Not a friendly smile. Not a reassuring smile. The kind of smile that predators give prey right before the chase begins. The Academy was the tutorial, she said simply. Graduation is when the game actually starts. And that's when the alarms began screaming. The The sky above Academus Prime split open like someone had taken a knife to reality itself. Not metaphorically, literally. A massive rift tore through the atmosphere, and pouring out of it came ships. Hundreds of them. Thousands. Zarati warships, yes, but also Krindle destroyers, Morphic cruisers, and at least a dozen other hostile species that were supposed to be on opposite sides of the galaxy, killing each other, not working together. This is impossible, Commander Rax roared, all four of his arms reaching for weapons that weren't there. We were at a graduation ceremony. After all, who brings plasma rifles to a graduation ceremony? Humans, apparently. Vera had produced a weapon from somewhere inside her dress uniform. Where? How? I had 6 arms and couldn't hide a sandwich in my formal wear, but this human had somehow concealed an entire combat rifle. Evacuation protocols. Rax bellowed. All cadets to the emergency transports. This is not a drill. But Vera wasn't running. She was standing perfectly still, watching the invasion fleet descend like she was critiquing their formation. Which, now that I think about it, she probably was. Vera, I shouted, my vocal sacs vibrating with panic. What are you doing? Move. She glanced at me, and her expression was almost apologetic. Almost. Sorry, Qrix, she said, her voice calm enough to make me want to scream. But someone had to make sure you were all ready. The galaxy doesn't wait for graduation ceremonies to end before it tries to kill you. My brain, such as it was, took approximately 3 seconds to process that statement. Wait, I said slowly. Wait. Are you telling me that you arranged this? This invasion? This literal assault on the most heavily defended military installation in the sector? Arranged is such a strong word. Vera checked her rifle's charge with the casual efficiency of someone who'd done it 10,000 times. I prefer coordinated. Also, they're not real. They're tearing apart the eastern barracks. Torv screamed, pointing at the massive explosions blooming across the academy grounds. Holographic projections backed by tactical drones, Vera explained, like she was discussing the weather. Very expensive. Very illegal. Very effective at testing whether 4 years of training actually prepared you for combat, or just prepared you to follow orders in a controlled environment. Lyra landed beside us, her wings spread in a threat display. You magnificent lunatic. You faked an invasion to test us? Not faked. Simulated. There's a difference. Vera raised her rifle and fired 3 shots in rapid succession. Across the parade ground, 3 drones that had been projecting Zarati warriors flickered and died. The danger is real enough. Those drones have live ammunition. The Academy authorized this, by the way. Well, the parts they know about. The parts they know about? I shrieked. Commander Rax was suddenly beside us, and he was smiling. Actually smiling. His tusks gleamed in the triple sunlight. Cadet Holt has been working with Academy Intelligence for 2 years. He said, his voice filled with something that sounded suspiciously like pride. We needed to know if our training methods were producing real soldiers or just good test takers. She volunteered to be our control subject. Live among you. Train with you. Never speak. Never give away the game. Just observe and report. And stay silent the entire time to maintain the integrity of the behavioral study, Vera added. Humans are notoriously chatty. I had to prove I could blend in by doing the opposite. Be so quiet you'd forget I was evaluating every choice you made. Torv looked like his brain was melting. 3 years. 3 years of silence. For an experiment? For science, Vera corrected. And to answer the real question, when chaos hits, when everything you train for meets actual reality, will you freeze or will you fight? More explosions. More screaming. Cadets were scattering in every direction, some running for transports, others grabbing whatever weapons they could find, a few just standing there in shock. So what's the answer? I asked, surprising myself with how steady my voice was. Do we pass? Vera's smile widened. Look around, Qrix. I did. And I saw Torv organizing a defensive perimeter with a dozen other graduates. I saw Lyra leading a flight squad to intercept the drone fighters. I saw 2,000 cadets from 400 worlds doing exactly what they'd been trained to do, adapting, surviving, fighting back against impossible odds. Not bad, Vera said quietly. Not bad at all. Though for the record, 73% of you went for the wrong cover positions, and whoever authorized the eastern flank defense should probably retake tactical assessment. I'll let them know, Commander Rax said dryly. After they stop having panic attacks. The simulation lasted another 20 minutes. When the all-clear finally sounded, when the last holographic ship flickered out of existence and the drones powered down, the entire graduating class stood in the smoking ruins of the parade ground, breathing hard, staring at each other with the wild eyes of people who'd just survived something impossible. So what did you think? Did this story surprise you? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this sci-fi story, please hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow. And don't forget to subscribe for more mind-blowing science fiction stories every week. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next story.